Danielle was our first placement.
Yeah.
And she was nonverbal. She was not walking well. She was in diapers, and she was about 5. You hear about people with autism, but living that is completely different, and we really had to learn everything.
From the ground zero.
Yes.
Parenting can be really difficult, especially when you are forced to parent. Kids come with different trauma, but also some of them come with mental problem, autism, and also disability issues. Most kids don't get adopted or don't get to be placed when they have really traumatic, life-threatening issues. But this time, I'm really excited to take you to a family that truly love kids. And it's amazing when you care and love someone, how far you can take them.
We are doing our Lowe's run again. Almost every install, we're here to get things at the last minute, but we want to be prepared, so here we are.
Why do organizations like Home Sweet Hope and the Now I Am Known Foundation, why do they give room makeovers to children? It's always to give children the dignity that they deserve and to empower them and give them the affirmations that they are loved, cared for, and they're worthy. In Danielle's case, she has autism, so we needed to go in and create a space for Danielle that truly fit her needs. We needed to walk alongside this family that had opened up their hearts and their home to a special needs child and adopted her from foster care.
So I'm from Northwest Georgia.
And I was born in Hawaii, and I was raised in Southern California. We started dating while he was in the Navy. We didn't have the typical dating life because he was gone. He was technically in school.
Yeah, so I couldn't even leave base.
Yes.
I was stuck there, so we just
But
FaceTimed all the
we
time.
FaceTimed a lot and texted a lot, and he snuck out. He would come and drive like almost 2 hours to come see me.
We actually dated for 4 months before I proposed.
And then we got engaged, and my family was really shocked. I grew up really fast. Like I was more mature than a lot of like my peers.
Right.
It didn't scare me.
Right.
To get married, we actually got married twice. We got married at the courthouse for like the legality of it all.
Because we paid for our wedding ourselves. When you get married in the military, you get more money.
Right.
So we did that just so we could save and pay for our own wedding.
Yes.
That's smart, really smart.
Yeah, so we had our church wedding, and shortly after that, we moved in together. We lived together for 2.5 years, and then he got orders here to North Carolina. And so I had to quit my job and move here, and we didn't work, and we sold our car, so we only had one car.
So I would go to work and she'd be stuck at home.
Shortly after that period of us transitioning to North Carolina, we realized we had an empty house. It was going to waste.
Why not?
Yeah. So we have fertility issues, and so we just started fostering because we knew we wanted children. We were financially ready to support children.
As ready as you can be.
Danielle was our first placement. She was not in any therapies at that point, so we had to set all that up. We were never parents, so like we didn't know, one, what resources were available. Two, we were learning how to raise children with Danielle because we did not have children of our own. And she was nonverbal. She was not walking well. She was in diapers, and she was about 5. We just didn't really know what we were in for. We were, learning as the days go on. And luckily I was able to stay home for a while. And so that was just a blessing in itself to be able to like dedicate my attention to her. And we lived at base at that time, and her teacher at the school was the most helpful person that ever, like, God blessed us with, because she educated us in a way that wasn't like demeaning or like, like, how do you not know this, and I mean, you hear about people with autism, but living that is completely different, and we really had to learn everything.
From the ground zero.
Yes. Then a few years later, she was diagnosed with epilepsy, and so that was a struggle in itself, and managing medication and learning about seizures and how to help her through them and all of that stuff, and learning through ABA, which is her therapy.
Right.
And so she was in speech and OT and physical therapy.
Like
And-
you had to like drive here on Monday, drive here on Tuesday,
Yes.
drive here on
Yes.
Thursday for this.
And her ABA therapy is daily. We would have multiple therapies plus school, and at that time we were still doing visits with BioFamily. We still had to do visits with DSS, visits with our foster agency. It felt like a full-time job.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was never home. We were off doing trainings and things like that, so she did all this on her own pretty much. We got Danielle, and a week later I went on a 45-day training, so I was gone.
For the first 2 years that we had Danielle, for 8 months out of the year he was gone,
I
Wow.
was gone.
like in and out. And so
I gotta be home for a couple of days and gone. Went home for a week, gone.
So I was learning how to be a mom without a
Single
husband,
mom.
a single mom. That's what it really felt like, because, yeah, I had to do everything.
Look at all this fun stuff out here. There's a jungle gym, a cool swing. When kids like Danielle have autism, the family needs a lot of items to redirect her with her behaviors and lots of sensory items. So these are some really cool sensory items that this family has in their yard. So cool.
She was gonna get reunited with her brother, so we made that decision to let her get adopted by that family.
Right.
And then that fell through, and her social worker called us on a Saturday morning and said she's going back in care. Do we want to take her? So instantly we said yes, because it was, for us, it was probably the hardest decision in our lives to let her go that first time.
Right. I know. You know?
So when we got the chance to get her back, we immediately said yes. And then we went from there and went to adoption, and we've had her ever since.
Wow. So she has siblings?
Yeah, she has one brother.
One brother. So was adopted by the other family?
Different family, yes.
Different family.
My parents got divorced when I was in second grade, so my dad got custody of me and my brother. We didn't know he was my half brother until we were grown, and that's when my parents finally told us. Because my brother's biological dad reached out after 19 years. My dad got custody of both of us, even though it wasn't technically his child. He got custody, so he raised us best he could. I mean, a single dad, like you know.
Yes.
Luckily, his mom lived next door, so she could take us to ball practice and do all those things while he worked.
Right.
I mean, I got to see that example growing up, like what a dad should be.
Right.
So I try and emulate that best I can. I'm not my dad, but I try to be.
Right.
I was actually in a situation where my aunt took guardianship over my brother and I when I was 13 and he was just turning 10. Even though it was kinship, it was still same feelings of, you know, being in care, and I knew that God had a plan in that. And it's really funny because when I was in middle school, 6th to 8th grade, I broke my ankle when I was not allowed to participate in PE. And in lieu of PE, they made me TA in the EC classroom, the special education classroom. And I was so mad about it. I mean, I wanted to be with my friends, and I was, yes, and I was forced to be in this classroom with kids in my little 6th grade, 8th grade mind that were a little bit strange.
Right.
You know, I was uneducated in that, and I didn't know. And here I am 20 years later, I have a daughter with special needs. I knew I wanted to have a hand in that. We talked about it very early in our relationship that I was passionate about it. And he was like, okay, we'll do it. And I was like, I don't really know what my role will be, but I want to be involved. I knew my story was the best case scenario story, and I was still dealing with trauma.
Absolutely.
Yes.
For anyone to lose a parent, it doesn't matter you're going, even if you're just going to dad and mom is walking away, it's still as painful, as traumatic to any child.
Abandonment and just a lot of hurt in that. And so I knew if I was hurt and I had that situation, I went with my aunt, with family I knew and loved, and I was safe. I knew it was worse.
Wow.
And I knew that we could make that difference. So And I had a brother in that situation, and we were able to stay together. And that's not the case for everyone.
No, especially most kids in foster care, they have to separate them because not everyone can take siblings.
Right.
So, Jimmy, how'd you think the day went?
I think it went pretty well. We actually finished early today.
Yeah, we did. 2:30, record time.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I think the room turned out great. Thanks for your help.
No problem.
All right.
Anytime.
Okay, are you excited?
Yes.
Okay, so thank you guys for what you do, and thanks, for being foster parents and, taking Danielle in. That's super special. You guys are a really cool family, and we feel so honored to have met you. And do this for you. But I hope that it really helps you out, and gets
I think so.
to where she can do some of her therapy in there and get out of where you're trying to work.
Yes.
So, that was the whole purpose of this, and I hope you love it. I hope
Thank
she
you
loves
so
it too.
much.
So let's
I'm
go.
so
You ready?
1, 2, 3, go.
Oh my gosh! Wow! Your books are here. What do you think? Oh my gosh, Danielle, look at your calendar. Wow!
So we made sure that we have a bench here for her therapist so they can sit here. Plenty of seating for the therapist to come in.
Look, what's this?
Fish.
Fish?
Yeah.
Goodbye, bed.
Goodbye, bed. You got a new bed. Look at your sign.
We have a bookshelf here. Danielle loves games. She loves books. So we have lots of her games and lots of her books and toys all stored in here. This is the table that they can meet at. They have stools. These are called wobble stools. And these wobble stools, they actually fit up to 250 pounds. So adults can sit on these, and it's just let you kind of get your wiggles out, and very good sensory seating for kids like Danielle.
Oh no, no. Do you like it? Look at your bed. Do you want to try your bed? Oh, cool. What is it?
Okay, yeah, that's right.
Do you love it?
Thank you.
Oh, she said thank you.
You're welcome. You're so welcome. I hope you love it.
Do you like it?
Hope you have fun in here.
I'm gonna tickle it.
You want to show how that works? Okay. We really hope that this is a great space for Danielle and she's able to grow and thrive here.
Look at this. Do you like it? Yes. Oh, wow. This is really soft. Fish.
Puppy bird.
Yeah? Have you read every book here?
Daniel, have you read all your books?
Have you read all your books?
While we don't always serve children with special needs like Danielle, it is definitely something that we love to do and we definitely think is important because every child deserves a space that is special to them. It was an honor and a privilege to serve the Smith family.
What would you say to a dad who's questioning fostering or adopting?
I would say just go for it. Like, you don't know unless you try. It's such a rewarding experience. Like when we got Danielle, she couldn't talk. I mean, now you see her now.
Oh yeah, I mean, I can have a conversation.
Like she couldn't even talk when we first got her. So yeah, now full conversation.
Dad, my nose. Hug.
You want to hug? Okay.
Dad, my nose. Hug.
It's such a rewarding experience being a dad.
Yeah,
Like I couldn't imagine not being a dad.
right.
Every kid needs a dad.
Yeah.
And every kid needs a mom. Like you need parents
You need
to show you
some love, some kind of
love, some type of direction in life.
yes. And if you ever want to be part of that, hey, visit my website. Maybe you could be part of that. Maybe you could give us a room, or you could come alongside as a volunteer. Oh, just give us ideas. So there's so much we can do. I always say we all don't have to be foster parents, but we can all do something. So what's the one thing you can do? If you can't foster, What is one thing you can do? Here's my recommendation. Do you have someone in your home, someone in your neighborhood that needs a little something like a coffee, like mow their yard, or even like say, hey, how is your life? It would mean the world to us, especially as single parents, when someone comes in and say, I want to know about your life and how can I make it easy for you? So you don't have to do it for me, or you can do it someone around your house, around your neighborhood, in your church, in your office. I mean, it can be anywhere. So let me know what you think and let me know what you can do and how I can inspire you to do the same for the least of these.